All right, guys, good morning. Let's go ahead and get started like usual here. We're going to go ahead and extend and lift through our spinal column, feeling those vertebrae stack, some space in between. We're going to start with our chin tucks back for 10. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good. Maintaining that length. We're going to do our head turns 5 each direction, alternating. Here we go. 1, back to center. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're going to get into the first bit, our warm-up. We've got 4 warm-up moves. It's going to be 40 seconds of work and 10 seconds of transition. Okay, so we're going to get started with our 4-count cherry pickers. Okay, so seated, our feet are wide. Okay, wider than hips. Reach out, reach middle, reach in, and up. Okay, or standing. I'm going to do it standing today. I'm still going to be wide, out, middle, inwards, and up. Okay, let's get ready and begin. Here we go. So we're reaching outwards, reaching in the middle, reaching inwards and up. I'm going from the side too. Out, middle, and up. We're not forcing our body to go past its limitations. Okay, just feel that dynamic stretch, that moving stretch, feeling the back of the legs and the lower back, starting to warm up those areas of the body. We're going to go into our 4-count chain breakers next. And time. Good. This looks the same, seated or standing. Okay, we're going to reach 1, 2, 3. And on the 4th one, we open up. Okay, so like we're pulling a chain apart. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and then all the way open. Warming up the shoulders. Waking up those muscles in the back of the upper back here. And getting a nice stretch in the front of the shoulder. Getting that blood flow to rise up into these areas. To prepare for the work to come and time. All right, nice and easy here. We're going to do lateral bends, okay? Reach. Feel that nice dynamic stretch coming up the body. Looks the same seated here, okay? You pick which one you want to do. Enjoy that sensation you feel through the side of the body. Maybe your arm doesn't come all the way straight through the elbow. That's okay. If you feel like you get a good stretch with the arm bent a little bit, do that, okay? Just trying to feel that sensation through the side body here. Warming up that trunk, those back muscles. We've got one more move. We're going to do our hip circles next. Okay, so if you're seated, you're coming wide. It's more your upper body moving around here like this. Okay, if you're going to be standing here, you're going to see a little bit more of the hips get involved here. Okay, I'm going to tell you when we hit halfway, we're going to switch directions. And then we're going to start our warm-up moves again. And switch directions. After this one, we're going to go back to our cherry pickers for round 2. And time. Okay, so again, wider than shoulder width apart, whether you're seated or standing. Okay, here we go. We're going to reach out, We're gonna reach middle. We're gonna reach in and up. Find your own rhythm, your own pace. Take notice to where you feel that sensation in the body. We're giving those hamstrings a nice stretch. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and time. Okay, into 4 count chain breakers next, seated or standing. All right, we're gonna get ready. Here we go. We're going to pull for 1, 2, 3, and then open. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 10 more seconds here. We're going to go into lateral side bends next. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. All right, seated or standing, we're going to go ahead and reach up through that side body, right? Feeling that nice stretch through the sides of the rib cage. Here we go. We call this dynamic stretching. When we're stretching the body, but we're not holding the stretches for a prolonged period of time. When we're moving through our stretches, that is when they are dynamic. They're static stretches when we hold them for 20 to 30 seconds or so, right? Dynamic stretches are great for warming up. Static stretches are great for cooling down. 2 and 1, and then back to those hip circles. I'll tell you to switch halfway. Okay, remember if you're seated, it's more of the upper body circling, but if you're standing with me, you're really gonna feel those hips moving. I'll do it from the side. Okay, so we kind of push back and around. Think of those, that ball and socket joint where the femur bones attach into the pelvic bone, right? Rotating through, let's switch directions. We're gonna go through it one more time after this, and then our warm-up will be complete. And time. Okay, so we're going back to the top for the final time through with our 4 count cherry pickers, okay? Wider than shoulder width, toes are forward. Here we go. Up, middle, in, and up. If you have good shoulders here and it doesn't bother, you can always reach up on this last round here. Middle, in, and reach. You don't have to. There's something to add on if you're looking for it. Five more seconds here. And time on those. Okay, final set of our 4 count chain breakers. Our feet come a little more under our hips now. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our alternating lateral side bends are coming up next. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Final set of our lateral side bends. All right, reaching up and over, feeling that side body stretch. Here we go. Reach. I'm going to add a little lateral tap this last round just to add on. Ten more seconds here. 3, 2, and time. Final exercise in our warm-up. Hip circles, a little bit wider than shoulder width, okay? Here we go. All right. I'll tell you when to switch halfway here. Going through your own full range of motion here. Okay, switch sides, switch directions. And time. Okay, guys, warm up is done. So what we're going to do next is we have 3 triceps, 3 exercises. Okay, we're going to do 3 rounds through of each of them. Okay, and then if we have time here, we're going to go ahead and do 1 round through for a 4th round, little extra special bonus round since we're not going to be here next week if we have time. Okay, so we'll see how we do time wise here. Otherwise, we'll still be getting in our standard work here. Okay, so we're going to start in our first block. We're going to do 3 rounds, and it is a 45-15. All right, and we are going to do a slip rope. Okay, a slip rope squat, a rope pull, and a alternating lunge. Okay, all right, so you holding onto the back of your chair or the side of your chair. So so if you're standing, slip rope from side to side. The second exercise is our rope pull. And then our third exercise is our alternating lunge. Okay, I'm going to do round 1 seated. Okay, remember with your alternating lunge, you can hold onto the back of your chair or the side of your chair. Okay, I'm going to do round 1 seated. So we are going to start with our slip rope squat. So our seated variation here is similar to with our hip circles. Our feet are going to be wide, but we're just working on that upper body, clearing the rope. Okay, all right, let's get ready. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. That slip rope squat. So you have that imaginary rope that's about shoulder height, right? And you have to go under and over it, right? You don't want your head to hit the rope. All right, so we kind of have to squat down and sidestep under it. The seated variation feels so good on the lower back. It helps give a nice stretch on either side of the sacrum. Feels pretty good. And you go through your own range, okay? You don't take it further than your body wants you to go. Just work within that. Should loosen up the more we do this. 2 and 1. Excellent. We're going to go into that rope pull. Okay, remember there's a little intensity behind this. If coming up and over is painful, you can come in front of you and you can pull in front instead. Okay, all right, here we go. Either variation, whether you're coming this way or this way, there's a little intensity involved, right? You're keeping your core engaged, your glutes are tight. That's going to give you a nice solid trunk so that you can feel that little bit of gusto that you're giving when you pull. Almost so much so that when you're done the 45 seconds of these, you feel slightly winded because you put that intensity into it, right? 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good. Remember, take your drinks whenever you need. We're going to move on to alternating lunges now. Or if you're seated with me, we're going to do an alternating seated leg press, okay? So for here, I'm scooped. Here we go. I'm pressing something heavy away with the heel of my foot, maintaining the scoop, holding onto the sides of my chair, whether it's the arms or the bottom of the chair, okay? And if you're standing doing your alternating lunges, you can have both hands on the back of the chair, one hand on the side of the chair, or if you're advanced, you don't need the chair at all. You're just doing it free in space there with your body weight. Five more seconds. And time. That's round 1, okay? Moving back to the top. Again, take your drinks whenever you want. Pardon me. All right, slip rope squat, okay? So here's my imaginary rope right here at my shoulder. And I need to go under and over it, okay? Under and over. Feel that weight transfer from one leg to the other, right? There's that moment in time where all your weight's on one leg because the other one's up in the air coming over, right? It's important to move our body in all different directions that it moves, right? So sometimes that's forward and back, just like walking, right? Sometimes that's side to side. We get a lot of that through exercise and even daily activity, you know? And time. And then we also move rotational, right? We want to make sure when we train, we think about all those different ways we can move. Rope pull is next. Ready? And begin. So it really helps, remember, to keep, if you're standing especially, think of keeping your glutes engaged. That's going to make all of this in your trunk feel nice and solid. Like it's not going to move as we put some intensity in this elbow coming back and down. Remember, alternative, if this hurts to come up and down like this, you can always come straight forward and back. Okay? So if you feel discomfort this way, try this way. 3, 2, and 1. Good, okay? When we do that exercise, we're working all back here, okay? These are large muscle groups in the upper body, our lats. Next is our alternating lunge. I'm going to put both hands on the back of my chair for this one. Here we go. Remember, you could also do a seated leg press for the seated variation. Remember, the quality of this is important than how many repetitions, okay? So just always make sure that you're keeping that heel in the front foot glued to the ground, okay? If you feel that heel popping up, it means you want to kind of work on your foot positioning a little bit and the space that you're creating between your front and back leg to make sure that that heel and that front foot stays down. Woo, 3, 2, and time. Okay, that is round 2. One more time through. Okay, so we're going back to the top with our slip rope squats, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, and 1, all right? So under and over. Let me get this one out of the way first because these got have some intense ones to them. Do it when we have the most energy left before that accumulated fatigue sets in. These are challenging here. Especially when they're right after lunges, right? Or They're actually first, but you know what I mean when we start doing them in a circle. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, all done with those. All right, grab your drinks. You should feel your heart rate up here slightly. We're going to go into our rope pulls next. In 3, 2, and 1. Core and glutes engaged. Remember, you're creating that intensity, right? You're quickly and abruptly pulling downward or back, right? You remember, you could also do this way too if this is uncomfortable. Either way, you're working the lat muscle in your back. Five more seconds here. And time on those. Okay, almost done this first block. We're going to go back to our alternating reverse lunges or your seated leg press. This round, I'm just going to do one arm to the side. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Back, down, up, return. Three, 2, and time. Okay, there is block 1. Moving on to our second block here. We are going to do a tricep and tap back. Okay, so working on those triceps, the back of the arm, and adding this tap back, and it's almost like back and over. Do you see that? Back and over, back and over. That's going to help, but when we're a little bit wider with it versus just coming straight back, it'll take a little intensity off the lower back as well as help us stabilize a little more because we have a wider base of center of gravity here, okay, versus here, okay? So that's going to look relatively the same seated here. We're just tapping back on the toe. The tap is coming through, the bend is coming through the knee instead of the hip. After that, we are going to do a curl to press, okay? All right, so now we're getting the front of the arm and the shoulder, all right? And remember, if overhead pressing does not feel good for you, if you feel like it causes too much pain, you're going to curl, externally rotate, all right? Curl, externally rotate. Okay, so this is what you're doing in lieu of your curl and press, okay? And then finally, we have a squat, okay? So just a regular squat here. Feet are about shoulder width apart, slight flare out. You can hold weights. We're going to drive up and down, okay? Seated leg press for that one. All right, so let's get ready. Grab your weights or water bottles, or just use your imagination that you're holding weights. We're starting with our tricep kickback with a that tap back, okay? Boom, 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 okay? Let's get ready and begin. I'm doing the seated variation here, so I'm at the edge of my chair, and it's more of a tap back of the toe, bending through the knees. When my arms are extended long, I am thinking about that muscle engagement in the back of my arm. You can pick your tempo, your pace. Okay, that's going to look different on all of us. 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to go into our curl to press. And if the press, overhead pressing hurts, you're going to do your external rotation, okay? So knuckles are out to the side for your curl and press, all right? Your knuckles are under for your curl and external rotation, okay? So either one you're doing, you're going to think, okay, here with the external rotation, my knuckles are under the weights. And if I'm doing my curl to the press, they're out to the sides, okay? And they're both excellent exercises. So maybe you don't have any shoulder issues, but you want to find some combination of the two. Feel free, or even the next round, you can pick the other, right? All right, you can alternate back and forth. 2, and time. Good. Now we're moving on to our squat, okay? You can either do this body weight or you can hold your weights up at your chest. That's going to involve your core a little more, okay? Or if you're seated with me, we're gonna do an alternating leg extension. Ready? Begin. All right, so if you're seated with me, I'm just resting my weights on the top of my thighs. I am keeping my foot flexed because that helps me turn on this top muscle of my thigh, my quadricep. Ten more seconds here. 2, and time. Okay, that was round 1. You can remain seated if you are seated and you want to, or I'm going to move to standing for the next 2 rounds. Okay, so we are going back to our tricep kick back with the tap back. Ready? Here we go. You pick a pace that's comfortable for you. You could go slower or quicker, whatever feels right. Really try to make that mind muscle connection. When these arms are extended right here, think of squeezing the back of the upper arm. Ten more seconds here. 2, and 1. Okay, moving back to the front of the arm, we're going to get our bicep curl and our overhead press in, or your bicep curl to external rotation if overhead work hurts. Okay, ready? And begin. Knuckles out to the side for your curl and press. Knuckles under for your curl to external rotation. Either or, you pick which one you want to do. Ten more seconds here, and then we're going to go to a squat. And time. Okay, feet come a little wider now. All right, about shoulder width or right outside. I'm going to keep my weights up high. This gets my core involved a little more when they're up high. Okay, all right, let's get ready. I'll come from this angle here. Here we go. We're going to sink it back and drive it up. Remember, your seated variation is your alternating leg extension. Right here, when I'm at my down, when I start to come up, I'm pressing through my heels and squeezing my glutes. Okay, you have to stay very mindful with the sensations you feel in your body and the muscle contractions you create as you're doing your movements. It's not enough to do them, right? You have to be present in that mind-body connection when you're doing them. 2, and time. Okay, one more time through. Again, get your drinks when you need them. Tricep kick back and tap back for the final round. Ready? And begin. Good. 15 more seconds. Less than 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Okay. Woo. Curl to press. And if that is uncomfortable or you just prefer it, curl to external rotation. They're both excellent exercises, okay? Ready? Begin. Good, we just hit halfway. And then we're gonna finish off this second circuit with our goblet squats. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and time on these. Okay, feet come just a little bit wider, all right? Or you're doing your alternating seated leg extensions or weights. Come up here, chest high, okay? Let's get ready. And here we go. We're gonna sink the hips back, lower down, and drive it up, right? Pressing the heels into the ground as we drive up and squeeze through our glutes. I want you to imagine as you're coming up, especially with your heels driving in, like you're trying to push up out of quicksand, okay? Create that resistance with your mind, okay? Think you're coming up out of something thick and heavy you have to work for, okay? Like quicksand. Three, 2, and time. Okay, guys. That is our second circuit. We're gonna go into our third here. Okay, so go ahead and recover here. The next one we're going to do is a T-fly side step. Okay, so very lightweight here, maybe 1 pound weights, okay, or no weight. I have a preference for no weight. Sometimes I get a little bit of a just a twinge through here, so body weight is a better option for me, okay? But see, you know, everybody's body's different, okay? So if you're comfortable with a 1 pound weight, do that. After that, we're gonna do our gorilla hinge row. So if you remember, we've done this before. We're wider, okay? Usually when we do a hinge and row, our hands are on the outside, or dumbbells are on the outside as we hinge and row, okay? Here, we're wider. Our arms are gonna come in. We're still gonna hinge. And then from this hinged position, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'm gonna come up, boom. Okay, let me show you from the side. Ready? Hinge, okay, so neutral spine. You wanna try not to be rounded through here, right? You wanna make sure those hips push back and your chest is forward, all right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Drive it up, back down, okay? All right, so the dumbbells are on the inside here, okay? It's gonna look the same from our seated position. After our gorilla row, we have a ham curl and straight arm pull back, okay? So straight arm pull back, this time. So working on the shoulder joint moving. Okay. All right. So there are 3. I'm going to do round 1 seated. Okay. We're going to start with our T-fly and side step. Okay. If up shoulder height becomes too intense, you can always bring it down to a W, bring the elbows a little bit lower. Okay. All right. Let's get ready. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Remember, lightweight, like 1 pound or water bottles or no weight. Okay. I want you to think of your shoulder blades pulling back, right? That the shoulder blades in the back are what are initiating those elbows to pull back. Working a lot of posture muscles. We're also getting a nice dynamic stretch through the front of the body, which is often tight from just modern day living, being whether sitting at a desk, sitting in your car a lot, sitting watching TV a lot, whatever it may be. Okay, our modern life definitely creates posture deviations for us in time. Okay, going into that gorilla 4-count row. So our feet are wider, our weights are going to be in between our legs. We're going to hinge and alternate rows for a count of 4. Ready? Here we go. Hinge. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drive it up. Okay, still using the glutes to lift yourself up. Ten more seconds. And time. Okay. And next we have our ham curl with our straight arm pullbacks. Okay. So now we're going to be keeping the foot from that standing variation flexed as we pull back. All right. Toes tapping if we're seated. Okay. Straight arm pullback, stretching out the front of the shoulders here. You can work on your pace here if you want. If you're looking for a little more intensity, if you're looking for more of a heart rate response, put a little more intensity in it, quicken your pace. But again, that's just, that's all dependent on how you're feeling today, and your fitness level. 2 and 1. Okay, that's round 1. Back to the top. Okay, so we're going back to our T-fly and that side step with an option of a 1 pound weight, okay, or a water bottle, I would say. Ready? Here we go. Again, you pick your pace, okay? You can go a little bit quicker like I am right here, or sometimes slower feels better, okay? And that could vary workout to workout. Not just person to person, okay? If you start to feel any impingement or anything starting to hurt in your upper back, you could always lower your arms here a little bit, okay? And still think of those shoulder blades pulling back, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Whew. Get your drinks whenever you need them. Okay, that 4-count gorilla row. So remember, we're wide with the feet for our hinge here, okay? Here we go. Hinge down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Drive it up. Okay, back down. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and time. Okay. Not quite done with the hamstrings yet, okay, because we get a lot of hamstrings when we pull up from that gorilla row. Next, we're going to do our ham curls with the straight arm pull back, okay? Ready? And begin. Foot flexed. One more round through after this. 3, 2, and time on those. Okay, final round through. T, fly, side steps, okay? In 5, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. All right, we got about 10 more seconds here. And we're going to go into those gorilla rows. 3, 2, and time on those. Woo! Okay, nice and wide with that stance. Okay, a little bit wider than shoulders. We want those dumbbells, those weights in between our legs, not on the outside. All right, ready? Here we go. We're going to push those hips back for a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Squeeze the glutes to lift. Right back down. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, and time. Okay. Hand curl with a straight arm pull back. All right. Let's get ready and begin. Here we go. Almost there. Last 10 seconds right here. 5, 3, 2, and time on those. Okay, recover. I think what I'll do for a finale, got 10 minutes till 10. We're going to do warm up, the warm up time format. So it's going to be 40 seconds of work, 10 seconds of transition. That just knocks 10 seconds per exercise off with the exercise and the rest time. Okay, so we're going to go through the 3 blocks we just did, just one round. Okay, so I'm going to go through round 1, right into round 2, right into round 3 of all 3 blocks. Okay, so 40 seconds of work, 10 seconds transition time. This is our finale set to give us 4 rounds today. Okay, so we are going back to the very first block, which was our slip rope squat. All right, seated or standing, 40 seconds. Let's get ready and begin. Here we go. So we're clearing that imaginary rope under and over. Everything we're doing here is the last time now. Go at your own pace. Remember, you can always stop early or start late. Rope pulls are next. Three, two, and one. Okay. Get ready for a rope pull. Okay, we're going to engage those glutes. If you're standing here, okay, make sure this trunk is solid as we either pull down or pull straight forward. Here we go. Add a little intensity to it. Whew. Halfway on this one. Then we're going into lunges, alternating lunges, or your alternating seated leg press. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time on those. Whew. Back to lower body, get a drink whenever you want. Let's get ready. Alternating lunges, ready, and begin. Back, down, drive it up, return. If you're advanced, you might be able to balance without holding on to anything. You don't have to, it's not necessary. I'd rather you focus on feeling that muscle contraction, the muscles working, versus focused on keeping your balance, okay? You can always do the seated leg press as well. Almost on these. And time. Okay, block 2, tricep kickbacks with that alternating tap back. Okay, 2, 1, here we go. Good, almost there. 10 more seconds. It's our finale set. Gives us a 4th round today. 3, 2, and time. Whew. All right, curl to press or curl to external rotation. All right. 3, 2, begin. Curl. And remember, knuckles to the side for your curl to press. Knuckles under for your curl to external rotation. I'm keeping my glutes engaged. That helps keep my core tight, especially as I'm pressing weight up over my head. 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to go into goblet squats or an alternated seated leg extension. And time. Okay. Feet are about shoulder width apart for the goblet squat, or you're seated and you're going to alternate elevating your foot. Here we go. Down, drive it up. We're moving into our final block next. We're almost done. We're going to go into our T-fly side steps next. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. T-fly side steps. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Ten more seconds here. Then we're going to go into our alternating 4 gorilla rows. 3, 2, 1. Woo. See on this last set here. All right. Nice and wide with our stance. Okay. We're going to hinge and alternate our rows for 4. Here we go. Hinge. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Squeeze the glutes to lift it up. 2, and 4. Halfway on these. Just one more exercise after this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Final exercise, ham curls with a straight arm pull back. Okay. Here we go. We'll do a quick cool down after this. Little shortened cool down since we added this one on here. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. All right, nice work, guys. Woo, quick cool down here. All right, so let's go ahead and start with just a little bit of a neck and trap here. Feeling that stretch along the side of the neck. This is an example of static stretching now because we're just holding the stretch, okay? Versus our dynamic in the beginning. All right, back to center, same thing, other side. Holding for about 15, 20 seconds here. Good. All right, let's go ahead and get the shoulders here by crossing that arm. And you're thinking of pulling it down and over, right? You don't want anything like up here, right? Like think of down and over, right? Feeling that pull, you'll probably feel something through here and also through this back over here. I like to visualize the spine and thinking of that space in between my shoulder blade and my spine and thinking of that area right in between there, stretching. All right, let's do the same thing. Other side, so down and over. Just like with our muscle contractions, the same thing you want to do with your stretching. You want to like think about the sensation you're feeling, think about the area you feel it. Staying connected really takes you to the next level versus just going through the motions without, you know, it's kind of like the same thing as like, you know how sometimes you can read something and you're like, what did I just read? Because your mind's elsewhere. You have to reread it, you know, it's the same idea, you know. All right, let's release that. And let's finish off with a hamstring stretch here for the backs of the legs here. Okay, so find some sort of elevation to prop your leg up on. And if this is too intense, if you only have something really high and your leg doesn't want to go up there, we can do this from our seated variation here. Okay. All right, so we can also come through this way as well. Okay, so all right, when you're ready, other leg. Okay. Excellent. Okay, and then the final thing we'll do here is seated or standing. You might want to hold on to something. Let's just flex and point on either foot. Okay, kind of getting some the ankle moving here. All right, doing some circles with the ankle. And then in the other direction, about 5. Good rule of thumb. I usually do 5, 5, and 5. Okay, same thing other side. So forward and back for 5. And then circle one direction for 5. And then the other direction for 5. Okay, and when you're ready, big inhale up, exhale, palms to heart. One more time, inhale, and exhale. All right, guys, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's class. Put a little extra in there just since we won't be seeing each other next week. So I wish you all a very happy new year. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.